Well, it was another big results week, but we also have economic data set to come out of this week, which will give us a sense of the health of our economy. eNCA business anchor Rofhiwa Madzena joins me now for more. Rofhiwa, always a pleasure speaking to you. There are results that are out this week. Let's start off with Anglo Platinum. Those are results that actually we'll be getting out, as well as commercial property group Liberty 2 Degrees, which will also be sharing their financials.
That's right. Let's start with Anglo Platinum. So Anglo American, the group, will be releasing its results. And then a nice focus on Anglo American Platinum. Why? Because of the surge in commodities prices that we've seen over the last few months. It's been called the commodity super cycle, and that's helped producers like platinum miners and so increase the production of PGMs, selling them at a good price because of the rand as well as a global demand. So those results are expected to be solid, just like other mining companies that release results in their periods of reporting previously. So it's going to be very interesting to see. The unfortunate thing in this instance, Faith, is that a lot of the profits that are made by these mining companies go back into the pockets of investors and are not necessarily reinvested into the economy. So hopefully, with some policy certainty and a solid direction for economic growth, we'll see some money being plowed into the economy. And then, like you mentioned, Liberty 2 Degrees, commercial property company, they'll also be releasing some financials. So you know that it's been a very tough time for commercial property operators in the country, not because of just COVID-19 and some of their tenants not being able to meet the demands or obligations in terms of rate, but also foot traffic. People are no longer shopping as much as they used to. And then, of course, the events that we saw with that violent unrest, a lot of damage, a lot of looting, destruction in the country's malls and shopping centres. And of course, companies are going to take some time to return to some sort of normalcy.
Yeah, I hear that the commercial property market is feeling the pinch, especially in light of what's been happening, people opting to work from home, hey?
That's right. So we are seeing that more and more property companies, interestingly, Faith, are now changing the way in which they do businesses. So instead of having office parks, for example, a lot of them have turned their buildings into distribution centres. We've seen a huge demand for distribution centres as online shopping grows. We need the likes of Takealot and other online suppliers needing a space to store and distribute their products, and commercial property companies are providing just that. Some others, Faith, are even turning them into rental properties, accommodation which people can move into, just so that they can keep a steady stream of income coming in, given the fact that people are working from home and companies are no longer necessarily needing office space.
Well, I tell you, Rofhiwa, it's all about agility and being able to adjust and pivot. All these concepts we've come to know. But some economic data now, producer price index is also expected as well, hey?
That's right, Faith, and this is not a great story because producer prices increased quite a bit in the previous period. While we are going to see a little bit of a downturn, it's not much to alleviate the financial pressures that a lot of the producers are facing. And some of the reasons that we're seeing that they're facing these pressures are the value of the rand, declining global demand of some goods and services, as well as the decline in the provision or the availability of some raw materials. And of course, we are seeing that the economy, or the suppressed local economy, having an impact there. So those producer prices, they feel them, and unfortunately it lands onto the consumer when we go to the end product that we are purchasing or exporting out of the country. Consumers and other buyers are forced to take on a little bit of that cost. So it's going to be coming out this week. It will have been influenced, obviously, by inflation data that we saw coming out last week, as well as some good news from the SARB, leaving rates unchanged at 3.5%. That offering a little bit of a reprieve, but short to medium term, Faith, these are still tough trading conditions.
I can imagine. We're going to leave it there for this evening. Thank you so much for that one, Rofhiwa Madzena, giving us the latest there from the eNCA business desk. And still